Land has skyrocketed since 2001. These houses, even if they're worth, $3 or $4 million to reproduce, the land that they sit on is often 2 building lots because they're so spread out and so big.
Developers are buying up property and they think nothing of bringing these mansions down to build to suit, basically.
Long Island author Nelson DeMille wrote 2 books set in Gold Coast mansions. DeMille says literature has helped to preserve the mythic allure of these mansions.
Gatsby is definitely an inspiration, and I mentioned Gatsby in both books, Gold Coast and Gatehouse. And I pay homage to the book. You have to. You can read it today, and you can still understand that world. I mean, it was a beautiful period piece.
Many of these remaining Gold Coast estates are accessible to the public today as museums, parks, and event venues. And DeMille agrees keeping them as private homes is unlikely.
The second life of the house as a commercial venture, which is the only way you could really preserve these houses.
One of the most prominent is Eagle's Nest in Centerport, the William K. Vanderbilt II estate.
This room's an eclectic collection of Mr. Vanderbilt's travels. It includes everything from exotic butterflies and birds to weaponry and artifacts from the South Seas.
Rather than just giving it in his will to his children, he decided that he would give it to the county and that everything he had collected would be on view forever.
Zach Lemley is a graduate student studying historical preservation. He built the website oldlongisland.com devoted to preserving the history of these mansions online.
There's a lot there, especially from an architectural standpoint. Some of the greatest architecture that was ever built in this country. And not enough people appreciate it, not enough people are aware of it, and I just wanted to do my part to, bring it to light.
In addition to saving these historic mansions, much of the nature surrounding the homes has also been preserved as parks and nature preserves. One famous example is the home of President Theodore Roosevelt, Sagamore Hill in Oyster Bay.
It's just the nature surrounding the house that is just unbelievably unique. While you have this suburbs boom of Long Island, what you really need to understand, and what people will have to understand when they come here, is that this is the rural area of New York. And you still kind of get that feeling of the rural area of New York and how Long Island was. It's really a preservation of how it was and how this home was, still even to that time period.
These are part of that Gatsby era that is such a part of our history, and to have them come down so that somebody can live by the water is a sin almost.
To lose these houses, we really lose something that's American history of architecture, American history of art, and also social history, and just something that can't be reproduced. The craftsmanship is lost today to really do this.
The Gold Coast mansions were indicative of a certain period in American history. And whether that was a good period or a bad period, whether you thought it was economically just, economically unjust, if we don't have the mansions to be there as a starting point for a discussion of what the history of the country meant, we'll be that much poorer in our understanding of the past.
We feel very strongly that that's very important to let the next generation know what America was about. And the Gold Coast of Long Island, it plays a huge part in American history, which is still very young, but it is our history. And the story needs to be told over and over so that people remember.
And many of these surviving Gold Coast mansions continue to be open to the public, so you too can visit them and experience what life in these mansions used to be like. And a new Gold Coast Mansion Alliance Preservation Group has been formed, dedicated to teaching the public about the history of these mansions. For more information about the group, you can check out their website at www.historiclongisland.com. And that's it for this special edition of NYIT's LI News Tonight. I'm Chris Collora. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again next time. Have a good night.